So just 2 days into owning this car, I had a check engine light come on, and as soon as I got home, I picked out my code reader and hooked it up, and for sure enough, I got the P0300 random multiple misfire, which I thought was kind of odd, and I thought maybe it was because I put in some cheap gas in it. And in the owner's manual, it says that this can take 87, and who knows what was in it before that or how long it was sitting in the tank. So I filled it up with 93, and the codes didn't go away. And then the code did go away, and then it came back after 100 miles again. So I finally did schedule an appointment at the dealer, and just the day before I took it into the dealer, I noticed another code popped up, which was P0308, which is cylinder number 8 random multiple misfire. So what they did find, and I was actually without the car from pretty much on Friday to actually just yesterday, which was Tuesday, so over the whole Memorial Day weekend I did not have the car. But the Ford dealer that's local to me was actually nice enough to get me a loaner. It was a Ford Focus, so I had that to use throughout the weekend, and they did not charge me for it, so that was very nice of them. All of these fixes were covered under warranty, and I'll go ahead and read off the diagnosis here that they sent, because there's about a big paragraph here. It says, verified customer concerns, scanned for diagnostic trouble codes and found codes 300 and 308 in PCM, performed pinpoint test HD, performed relative compression test and no problem found, performed non-misfire DTCs present, no KOE, I don't know what that is, or I guess that's maybe knock DTCs present. Performed power balance test and all cylinders are contributing equally. Performed relative injector flow test and all the injectors are contributing equally. No fuel system related concerns. Verified fuel is not contaminated. Verified vacuum system is okay. Verified the generator is causing excessive electrical noise. Verified there are no issues with the CKP wiring, which is the, I guess, the crank reluctor wheel. Verified that the CKP tone ring is okay. Reset the misfire monitor. Cleared the keep alive memory and no DTCs returned. It says found hotline contact with similar concern caused by the IMRC runners sticking. Removed the intake and inspected the IMRC runners and determined that the bank number 2 IMRC runners are sticking. Replaced the intake manifold, cleared the keep alive memory, performed road test, verified okay. And it says here that the that's pretty much all the stuff there. So pretty cool. So it's nice to know that this car has pretty much a clean bill of health and that there's really nothing wrong internally. I mean, I definitely otherwise wouldn't have been able to do a compression test and all of these other tests that they did here. So kind of nice that it has a, you know, basically, I mean, with a car that has 13,000 miles, I would expect that everything on there should be fine. But I've driven probably about 100 miles since the diagnosis and repair, and no check engine light. So for any of you that do get that random multiple misfire, check your intake manifold, and that's probably what it is. And I've saw that from a lot of other cars online that have had the exact same issue. They just replace the intake manifold and that usually solves it. So that's it for this one. So this car now has a brand new intake manifold. And I guess from a repair perspective, it's easier to replace the whole entire thing rather than the parts that were bad, which are back here. That's where the what they call intake manifold runner control is. So it has kind of like little flappers that are inside to change the interior geometry of the runners, so that at lower RPM it produces better torque. That's kind of my basic understanding of what it is. And those were stuck, which was what was causing kind of my surging and misfire. And also they determined that one of the gaskets, I believe they said, was actually bad on the intake manifold runner control. So I was also having some vacuum leak. But that's all kind of controlled back here with all this stuff. Not really something you ever see if you keep that stupid engine cover on there. That was like first thing I ever removed.